Yo, hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of BAFSAF. We're on number 14, if I remember correctly. um, because it's November, which is Thanksgiving month, is the season, we're going to discuss family and thankfulness. The idea of being thankful. What are you thankful for? Yes, I went the cliche route. Didn't really, my first year, didn't know what to really discuss, so we're doing it. Uh, Hope everyone had a fun and safe Halloween. If you had any kids or if you tend children, I hope they had a good time. Our turnout was pretty good. All right, anyway, so how are you? How y'all doing today? I am doing pretty good. No complaints. This month is going to be a busy month. Got giving. There's a wedding that I'm going to end up going to and DJing for my sister. Um, bunch of other stuff, but yeah, holidays are always busy, very exhausting. So yeah, got that going on. So I don't think I'm gonna do the whiteboard anymore. At least not the one that I had. I'm now using it to teach the kids the letters. My wife was doing it earlier. What I was using for the weather a couple times, I'm actually gonna use for the kids. So, all the letters, and when they flip it up, they could see like that's an apple. I drew that art. Basketball. D for cookie. D for dog. Stuff like that. But that don't mean I'm not gonna look it up though. If you're in the Wichita area, uh, let's see. So, hey, we getting warm for a little bit. Okay, thought today was the only day. Oh, this is nice. All right, so peep this, y'all. Midwest, in the Midwest area, Wichita area. Friday the 3rd is gonna be a high of 69, low 45, full sunny day. Saturday the 4th is gonna be a high of 67, low 45, cloudy. Sunday the 5th is gonna be a high of 71, low 52, cloudy. Monday the 6th is gonna be a high of 75, dang, low 49, partly cloudy. Tuesday the 7th is gonna be a high of 73, low 49, partly cloudy. Wednesday the 8th is going to be a high of 69, low of 45, mostly sunny, partly cloudy. Thursday the 9th is going to be a high of 61, low of 37, partly cloudy. Friday the 10th is going to be, we're getting colder now. High of 58, sorry, low of 40, partly cloudy. Saturday the 11th is a high of 56, low of 43, partly cloudy. Sunday the 12th is going to be a high of 59, low of 42, partly cloudy. Monday the 13th is going to be a high of 58, low of 40. And Tuesday, high of 58, low of 39, partly cloudy. Wednesday is going to be a high of 57, low of 41. And Thursday is a high of 54, low of 38, mostly cloudy. And that's Wednesday the 15th, Thursday the 16th. Yeah, so we're getting warm again for a little bit, and then back down to cold. I didn't appreciate how cold it was on Halloween. Iced me out. It was like colder than last year, and I remember last year because I didn't wear that much clothes. Neither did my wife. And this year we were in coats. All right, so yeah, as I was saying earlier, I feel like one, it was an easy topic to choose since I was just streaming, and I mean, it like I said, it's cliche. It just kind of went with the holiday, and it felt like it may have held some importance to me as well because there's been a lot of loss, a lot of heartbreak in the winter time around the holidays. So I think being able to remind myself what I'm still here for, also what I'm thankful for, really does take place. It's kind of like a mental check-in or a mental refresher. Because it's hard sometimes, you know, like especially the loss that me and my family have taken over the years, and sometimes it's still it you know, to sit there for a moment until it's just kind of like it's still hitting to be surreal. For me, I think for everyone else, I can't really speak for them, but to me it seems kind of obvious that we're all still just kind of still healing. But that I feel like that's it. Just held more importance to have this topic for the month, you know, instead of just being like Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? There's actually some deeper connection to it. So, um, I mean, just start off. I guess the idea of family. Family can be good. Family can be bad. Family can be hard sometimes. One good thing to know about, well, not know. One good thing to remember about family. It's not always blood. Sometimes it can be like a family friend or close friend, or if you're adopted, you know, and the family was kind enough to choose you from the adoption agency, or you and your siblings, and you know, even pets, people who have pets, they also consider to be family. So, and from me personally, I've been able to call some coworkers family, coworkers, and of course, when it comes to being in relationships, you have in-laws. Family can be in all shapes and sizes. I think, you know, the idea of family just comes from the heart, not necessarily being, you know, blood related. Because we'll meet people that are better for us than some of our blood related family, and kind of weird to think about that, you know. But then again, it's not, because if you really look at the reality of family, they're just people that you grew up with. Like, you share genetics with them, but all in all, they're all just people like everyone else that you can meet, you know. Only, well, I can't say we as humans, because animals do it too. I think we just instinctively know to cherish people that we've, you know, been around since birth. But yeah, no, it's that the idea of being family a lot stronger than what we could imagine it to be. With family, there can like our elders, you know, in rare instances, anyone younger than us, they can be our role models. Anyone from our parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, even cousins. Um, I've come to understand that I've got a few role models in my life. When I was growing up, I didn't really think I had any, just because of the way things were for my childhood. But over time, I've come to realize that my role models were both my dad and stepdad. They have been very prominent figures in my life, really shedding light on how to be a genuine human being, as well as being, you know, a man, and being able to understand the definition of being a man, because that's a, you know, when you're trying to live by a definition based on your like gender role or like your placement in the family, it's very difficult, and not a lot of people are able to understand or are willing to understand. For instance, you know, there's always that idealistic difference when it comes to how it is being a man versus how it is being a woman, who does what, who feels what, you know. It's like, because times are changing, we're seemingly to branch off of the old ways of what it's like to be a man and what it's like to be a woman. But in that context, um I was blessed with being able to understand that I don't have to abide by the societal rules of being a man. It's just whatever. I mean, like, I got the gist of it. Like being able to understand, like, taking care of responsibilities, being there for someone who, when in need, and understanding when to apply what you have to offer. Like, because I can't give nothing to someone. So if I have nothing, I should be able to be firm about saying, hey, I don't have much, or I don't have anything right now. But, giving them nothing means I can't give them. Oh, hold on. I'm saying that wrong. Just because I have nothing doesn't mean I can't give them anything. I can give them something, guidance, leading them to wherever it is if I'm able to. Um, I definitely found my role models to be those two gentlemen, and it's I've learned a lot from people along the way, but if I was to actually be able to sit there and think about it, it would be those two guys that were really like, you know, like I know what my place is in this life. John, what's up, man? It's good to have you in here. We also got to remember that family isn't always the best example, influence, or support. We know that there's some bad eggs out there. You're probably thinking about the the ones in your family right now. But, I want to say it's okay, but I understand that there are circumstances that people have experienced where someone being not the best to have around, not the best presence, not the best influence or support. We know how those type of family members can make us feel, and I understand 100% because, like anyone else in the world, I have those family members. I think I myself have been that family member at one point in time in one of my darker days. I just wasn't the best person to be around. But, one thing to really understand is that give people that chance to grow and learn from their mistakes, learn from their hard times. Don't I from what I learned, don't necessarily completely write off any family unless they are aware that they're a hindrance and they don't ever intend to change. For instance, anyone who just wants to live a life of crime because they feel themselves have nothing left, nowhere else, like that's all they want to do, and they have no moral intent against like taking from you without asking or without even caring, leaving you high and dry, just kind of stuff like that. But I mean, we can all sit here and just kind of go through the family tree and think, oh yeah, uncle such and such, aunt such and such, or cousin such and such. But he been twice removed. We can all think in that process, but to me, when we have those type of family members, I find it best just to kind of like keep your distance and always be aware, emotionally, mentally, and also physically. Whenever like big events happen and you have those type of family members over or around, I find it best just to kind of like keep your eye on them, keep your ears open for wherever they are, whatever they're doing. Um, because I think I've been in a, I mean, I do it now. There's sometimes I'm put in a position where I'm like, I don't want to do certain things because I know certain people are going to be around, but I'd hate for them to win in that aspect. And more so just I hate that I don't like, I shouldn't say hate. I don't like how I allow myself to feel because a certain person's behaviors or intent I don't necessarily approve of. And I feel like in a sense it makes me seem like I'm just looking down on that person, and I'm no better or no worse, but I'm not a participant in what they would do, so to speak. So I try to be understanding, but also very aware. Like I like if there's someone's a known thief, definitely not leaving any personal belongings. Nah, no, not setting down no wallets, no keys, If there's any women around who got purses, hey, watch your purse now. You hear? Oh, thank you, babe. Thank you. Yeah. But you know, stuff like that. And then there's also people like we may know or have seen in movies and TV shows, the ones who are like who drink alcoholics or who smokers, drug users or abusers, and you know, criminals or just anyone who has like a toxic trait that makes it hard to be around. Those are the type of people that I'm referring to who aren't the best example of being influential or supportive. And even on the supportive side, you know, like you can have all these accolades, and you always have like a negative Nancy coming behind and like just saying things that you don't want to hear. Like if you got a promotion, they're like, "Oh yeah, promotion to a crap job. When are they going to start paying you more? You deserve better." Blah blah blah. Like that kind of thing. Like, can you just be happy that I got the promotion? Everyone else is happy I got the promotion. That would be like a scenario. Not that isn't anything that I personally experienced though, but family can also be a very generous and healthy support system financially. We've all borrowed money from well, a lot of us borrowed money from family. A lot of us have family that have borrowed money from us. You know, educational. I like how I like to hear about family members being like some are so supportive of your education or your career that they do whatever they can, like even if it's just little things. Oh, hey, here's something for you to go to college because I know it's going to be a struggle for a little bit. Or, hey, I know you wanted this equipment for your band or whatever. Go ahead and get this and that. You know, like the stuff like that. That's always the best thing, to know that you have some kind of support system, whether it's family or not. That'll be like, hey, I see you out there, and I see that you're passionate about what you love and what you're doing. So here's a little something. Like that's always the best to see, I feel. Then another way that they are a good support system is emotional and well, emotional. You know, depending on like how you grew up with your family. There's always, you know, the family that has like the tough love, and then you always have the family who's like very open and considerate and very tender loving. So I think with me, we're all tough love. It's just a level of tough love. um, because I found it weird that like when I started dating my wife, I was like, I would observe the interactions with her family, and they were like very um affection in the sense that they can express love to one another, like, oh hey, I love you, or you know, all that. And I'm like, you say that? Because it was never really accustomed to me and my family or my siblings, you know. Um, not that we didn't love each other, but we just didn't say it. Like we didn't share it verbally. We just kind of like did stuff, you know. So to hear her and her siblings say it to each other, or hear her and her family say it to each other often, I'm like, I'm not used to this. I can get behind it, but I'm not used to it. Career I already went over, and then moral support. You know, if you're ever down on your luck, down in the dumps, and need someone to talk to, it's always good to have one of those relatives, especially the ones that are like cool, the ones who get it, and you just go to them for moral support, and they just hit you with the best advice. That's always cool. I think that's gonna be me for all my nieces and nephews. I'm gonna be the cool uncle who gets it, but will be firm. Hey, I understand your ass, but I understand. And then of course with you know, with family, you tend to know, like you tend to understand what it is to be unconditionally loved and cared for. Mostly, you know, there's always those ones who just feel like, family or not, I don't care. I'm not, you know, I wouldn't say selfish, but they're definitely not selfless. Point being is that you can fight, argue, distance yourself from and just be too needy of family. But if anything were to happen to you, if anyone was to ever put you in harm's way, it's that same exact family that's going to be there, or at least want to help or be involved. Me and my siblings, we tend to just let each other be, but when someone's crossing the line, then we're all up in arms. We ready. And I've been able to do that for some of my friends too. Some of my friends that I consider family. Like, something could happen, and I understand that they can handle it, but something pops off too much. Okay, what we doing? Where we going? Who we rolling up on? Now, family's all well and nice, but as family, we gotta understand to set boundaries. John says already did once. Oh, you did? You pulling up on somebody? When it comes to boundaries, it's always, I don't know, for me, I felt like and this is with anyone, I'm learning how to be better at it, because I would kind of just let people do whatever and I'd just be so upset about it and I wouldn't really do much. But now I'm different, kind of like a whole 180 on that. Oftentimes, because it's, you get those people who are like, oh, we're family. They think they can just do whatever they want, or they can say whatever they want, and without repercussion, because we're family. For example, I'm aware of an occurrence where times we'll have family showing up unannounced. We're not the fully dressed type at home. I mean, we're home. We don't really need to be. But we also have sleeping kids. They take naps, and now that we've got a doorbell, that thing's pretty loud. But also, sometimes like we'll be out. People expect us to be home. Like, are you home? Oh, well, I had something. Oh, okay. I actually prefer when people let me know. Like, I've been telling people, hey, let me know ahead of time if you want to come over, so I can be prepared. Because that preparation is key. I'm not always gonna be ready, because the way I see my day going, I'm not doing anything unless I've planned something 48 hours in advance, minimum. But then, like, even like that, like I can't plan something like that last minute because it's work schedules. One thing I've never actually experienced, but I'm curious about is having boundaries living in a family home. Now, I can see if you live in the family home alone or with your own family, and it's like, hey, yo, you need to knock. I don't know how those things work. Does everyone have a key and everyone can walk in, or like you change the lock, and then when a relative gets mad because they can't just waltz up in there and say, yeah, no, change the key because it's our house now, family house where we move out. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, it was a random thought. Yeah, because I've never had a family home. I'm not sure if there is one or not, but yeah, that would be kind of crazy though, to have to live in the family home, especially if it's like you and your family. Because if it's just you, and let's say you have a partner over, and things happen and that partner hasn't left the house, and it's the next day already, and you've got family just coming in the house unannounced because it's the family house, and then you have this partner of yours leaving. Boundaries. First of all, mind your business. It's not, it's none of yours to just be like, yo, who is this? Like, hey, I had company last night because I live here. You back the hell up. That's never happened to me. Just a scenario. Oh yeah, another way of setting boundaries is like career planning, or choose, finding a career, getting into a career. From what I've been able to see, like if there's a family business, and then of course the older relative who works or owns that business is trying to pass it down to the next of kin, to which the next of kin may or may not want to do that. I guess I'd say reverse nepotism, maybe. To set boundaries with someone trying to make you choose a specific job or work in a specific job environment or position. Like for instance, it's pretty common known that a lot of Filipino families expect the next of kin to all be in the medical field. May not want to do that. May want to be something different. Like the comedian Joe Coy was talking about in one of his stand-up specials. He said he wanted to be a dancer, and his mom was giving him crap about it. Um, stuff like that. I think when you come to understand that you have your own voice, your own opinion, your own choices to make, and you don't want to go in the expected career field that's been offered to you or shown to you, it can feel pretty. There can be some pressure because when those family members get upset that you don't want to keep it in the family, you want to do your own thing. I can see how hard that is, and I mean, like we've all seen in TV shows and movies, they're like, oh, you don't want to run the company, you don't want to run the business, you don't want to run the shop, own the shop. No, I'm gonna do my own thing. And you tend to usually have like the supportive mother or the motherly figure, and then the fatherly figure. He's like, go out there, waste wasting your life away. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, definitely try to stay focused and stay diligent about what you want when it comes to like a career choice or career option. Don't let anyone make you feel less than because you don't want to run the family business. Because what I understand, what they're not telling you about that family business, is it doing well or is it just like okay? Is it staying afloat? I want to take all that credit, debt. Another one that's pretty big, I want to say culturally, more so than anything, is relationships, friendships, or marriage, especially marriage. A lot of cultures, well, not a lot. There's a few cultures that they do arranged weddings. Yeah, and like they select someone for you at a young age, or they select someone for you in general, and just marry that person. I find that weird because I think it's more of like a status thing. I'm not really familiar with the idea or process of arranged marriages, but what I've been able to hear about, it's all for status. Um, I don't know what I was about to say. Um, but yeah, no, there's a very big stress and pressure on being arranged married because you're not fall. Oh, here we go. You're not genuinely falling in love with the person. You just kind of have to learn to love them. And for what a lot of us understand, you know, there is no forcing love. There's because you only fake it for so long. It kind of makes you act a certain way, especially when it's like with someone you don't really want or care about. And there is someone that you want, but you can't choose them. And I can understand like it's much worse to deal with. Um, Friendships. There's always elders or parents. They tend to believe that they know better of someone's friends, and sometimes we can. Sometimes it's easy to be like, hey, no, that person ain't too good for you because they're this and that, they do this and that. But almost kind of in a sense like a like a racial sense. I've dealt with this before a couple times where they're like, you know, my friend was one, not mixed, two, not as tan as I am, but they were ordered not to play with me or to even consider me. It's kind of weird as a kid to have to go through that, because it's like to be able to fathom that your color of your skin affects someone's ability to accept you or not as just another human. Um, and the reason why I put relationships is because when you're dating and you know you tell your family about it, you know you've always got the ones who want to taunt, you got the ones who want to act excessively inappropriately. Um, and then, oh yeah, that's pretty much it. One that was really, oh wait, hold on. Sean says freshman year of high school for me with that, all of a sudden color mattered and I didn't understand what they were saying. See, that's a weird time to like for that to hit too. I feel like growing up, it's always gonna be a weird time, but there are certain points in life where it's like, dang, now. So, freshman year in high school, yeah, that's tough because that's the first year of high school where like we have no idea what's going on, but all the stories that we've read about could be true. So then to go into high school dealing with racism, yeah, that's crazy. Cause that was me and my brother. His freshman year, my sophomore year, we had to go to a predominantly white school, and we were accepted. It was just some people they were just like, nah, I'm not with it, and we didn't care. But there were some other people who just made it their mission to really try to make us uncomfortable, and we prevailed in a sense. We prevailed. But what I was saying was that one big one that I thought was just kind of huge and um, funny. Setting a boundary with someone or people who end up borrowing, renting, or using your belongings. You know, like there's always that one guy. It's like, hey, yo, let me owe $20. I'll pay you back. You know, or someone who likes to. Let's say you have siblings, and like for me, it was always my brother wearing my clothes. I didn't care for his because I had better clothes and I took better care of mine. But I think my wife also fought with her sisters about her clothes. Like, let's say you lent like a cousin a pair of your shoes and they come back. First, the shoes left black, suede, not a stain. And then your cousin brings the shoes back. They got mud and dirt, scuff the suede, just unrecognizable. But you'd be in the wrong for saying, "Hey, nah, these are $200, and I'm gonna need that 200." Oh, just kind of go with that as well. House rules. You know, as we've gotten older and we get our own space, we all got them. Like, kind of understand. Like, hey, I prefer things to be this and that way. I would appreciate if you didn't do this and that. Blah blah blah. House rules. You know, you get those friends and family who like to come in your house and act like they paid for everything up in it. I hate that. Then lastly, for setting boundaries, these are just like a list of some instances where boundaries are crossed. You know, so advice, maybe giving too much advice when it's not asked for, getting too personal about the advice that you're offering, asking too many questions, or trying to pry than you are trying to provide advice. I don't think I've actually had to deal with this one. I was all mostly, I'd hate to say most, or I'd hate to say always when it's just mostly. But you know, I've been the one to kind of help guide advice for some people. But of course, I've taught myself to, like, you know, try to understand and read the body language, read the room, so to speak, of like when to give it, when not to give it. Because some people, they just want to hear themselves talk. People want to hear that they've been able to help you out even though you didn't ask for it. just kind of forcing their way in on that one, never knowing what their motive is. Now, setting boundaries for family or anyone is important because it promotes a healthy bond and relationship with them, with one another. I would always suggest having healthy boundaries with anyone that you know in your life, but family included, because family tends to think that, as I was saying earlier, because you're family, it's okay. It's not. um, and then like when you're able to put your family in place or be firm about boundaries, it's a lot easier doing it with other people. I feel like the first of the gauntlet is just going through family. Once you can get the family to understand, you can also get your friends to understand too, or either other guests, because that's the one thing that people will respect: the fact that you have a specific bond or connection or a system with people like your family. Because then it's like, oh, this is how things operate. Family is respected from the outside looking in. So whenever people see that you're family oriented, and they're like, oh, okay, they have boundaries, I guess I should too. You're kind of setting the tone for any friends or other guests. See that, hey, this is the norm, this is the pattern. Get with it and don't cross it. So it definitely holds some weight of its own. And also, it's just like a piece of living. Like, me personally, like I said, I can be very agitated when it comes to people showing up unannounced. There are some people who will do it. I'm like, okay, because they're not in the way and they're like more help than they are harm. But then there are just some people who would tend to show up and they're like, give me their whole life, their whole spiel. And I'm just like, all right. But that and the borrowing, so if you have siblings and you have siblings that are around the same size as you, know what I'm talking about. That it's annoying. One point in time, me and my brother were the same height, but not the same build. And he would wear my clothes. He'd wear my socks, wear my clothes. Like I said, I paid more attention to mine, and I was more responsible with my clothes. So I knew when he would wear them because I'd see them after they had been washed or something like that, and like stretched out, or I don't know, things are just different, and you can always tell when it's your stuff, and you're like, who it is.
2 hours later.
My bad, y'all. That was my daughter's mom. So, just to fill y'all in, since we're talking about family. So, my daughter's mom took the liberty of... So, there's this store. There's this Oriental store. It's actually called Omart in where they live at in Killeen, Texas. So, they were hosting an event. I don't know exactly what the event was, but my daughter was in it. My daughter's mom put her in it. What they did was like they had this like Asian cultural fest going on in their store. Like they had a bunch of wide variety of Asian stuff going on. So they're ranging from Pacific Islander, Vietnamese, Japanese, all that stuff, right? They also had a contest for people to like they had photos on their page for people to like, and whoever won by having the most likes was to win a $150 gift card. So for the time that my daughter was on the page and collecting likes, she had apparently accumulated over 150 likes, but she was, I guess, for a little bit in the running with an older full Asian woman. To which then it turned into a blowout, my daughter winning the entire contest. They just announced the winner today, I believe. But the problem is my daughter's picture disappeared off the page where they were holding the contest. She had all the likes, not just most. Like I said, it was a blowout. She had all the likes. I went through all the pictures and now they're all gone. Like they're all gone now. They're not even showing the winners. So I went through all the contestants' pictures, and like they were ranging. The age range was vast. It was kids who were like 2 and 3 years old to adults who were like 30, 40, and 50. All ages, and most of these pictures had no more than like 5 to 8 likes. I didn't actually get to see how many my daughter had because when I found out, I went to the page and I just couldn't see hers, but there were other kids and adults. But apparently someone was able to notice that she had a bunch of likes, and next thing you know, her picture, meaning her entry, was removed or disappeared. But apparently her picture was the only one that disappeared, ending in the win being given to the older full Asian woman. I'm not sure if it was like a racial thing, because from the looks of it, when you see my daughter, you don't think that she's Asian. You think she's just straight from her mom. That's it. But she's Asian and Native American. But her picture was the only one to disappear. Now, the reason for that call that I just took is because she was updating me on what was going on. So I guess my daughter's mom went up to the actual store and requested to talk to a manager. She was approached by security, and they were like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" She gave him the rundown. He's like, "Okay, yeah, cool. Let's go figure out what's going on." I guess one of the owners or the managers there, he talked to her first, and he was like, "Oh, let me take your information. Let's get this figured out. We'll call you back." I think it was the owner, who was a lady. She called my daughter's mom back, and when she was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Daughter's mom gave the story again, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, you deleted it." Okay, so she responds with, "That doesn't make any sense. Why would I go and express to you that my daughter's entry is removed from your page, and I need to understand how to get that back on or how we can fix this, but I deleted it." So then she's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's probably because you just changed your mind. You wanted to pull her out of the competition." Okay. So let's figure this out, because no. So a couple things to take away from anyone who's watching right now. Omart is the store. They have an events page, and they have an actual official Facebook page where the contest was being held. They were saying, or the lady that she was talking to was saying, that they don't have access to their page, which is understandable, because then it's like, okay, they have a social media runner or an ads runner, right? But to not have access to your own page makes no sense. To tell someone they deleted the picture off your page makes no sense. If you have no access, the customer, who's also a contestant, has no access. Someone on your end deleted it. Didn't just disappear. But they announced it. Lady won $150. So apparently my daughter's mom took it upon herself to she made a lengthy post on her profile. And of course, it didn't stop there. I wouldn't have stopped there either. So not only did she post it, she tagged the news channels of all surrounding news channels. She tagged groups. She tagged Omart and the Omart events page. She tagged friends and family. Like that. I'm gonna be checking the news and Colleen for the next month because I want to see that. So just to kind of give you a little tidbit here. From what I understand, me and my family, we have all been in some way, shape, or form, mostly on my dad's side. We've all been in some way, shape, or form in the news and the media, newspapers, segments on the actual news channel, PBS. Like, we've all been in something like that. Kind of crazy now I'm thinking about it. So for my daughter to make her way onto the news, daddy's proud, girl. Look at me trying to capitalize on, and she's upset. When I was speaking to her mom, she ended up popping in the picture, and she was just, she had tears in her eyes, but like her mom made it a huge deal for her to be that sad. Like, don't talk about it like that in front of her. I mean, I get you're mad, but I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, so that's why I kind of pulled away right there for a moment. But that's messed up, right? And she was saying like, oh, I hope it's not a racial issue, because there's like on the page itself. So, and here's the even weirder part, right? On the page, I went to actually go look at like who all the contestants were. So of course it's a bunch of Asians, but there were also some Caucasians. There were some African Americans. I believe there was like a Hispanic or two. The thing was an event for Asian culture. It was Asian festival. So everyone's there to like be a part of the festivities and cultures that of Asia. Whether her skin showed it or not, or her eyes, or whatever features on her body showed or not, it didn't, and it shouldn't have mattered if she was Asian. But it's just very weird for that one picture to go missing, causing the lady to win by a landslide. And I asked if there was any research done to figure out if the lady who won had any relations or ties to the owners. It does. So y'all had to cheat because a little 10-year-old girl is going to win your entire competition. $150. What the hell is that lady not doing in her life that she needed $150? Let me not. That was bad. Let me not say that. Now I'm being petty because I did my daughter wrong. So yeah, we'll keep tabs on that. And the thing is that apparently, according to my daughter's mom, that establishment is full of biracial customers, like multiracial customers. So much that she was saying that there's like a very high ratio of Black, Asian customers and employees, Blasian, so to speak. And that's what I learned I was when I was in high school. People were calling me Blasian. Thought it was cool. You're forgetting one nationality, bitch. But yeah, stupid how contests are. One cool thing I've always liked about family is events and holidays. That's one reason why I actually celebrate holidays. I don't actually really care for them anymore, but I like being around family. Just to make sure everyone's good. Birthdays. I don't know about anyone else, but when I was younger, Chuck E. Cheese was the spot for most of us. We had some bougie family members who were able to go to the Discovery Zone or DZ Zone and, live it up there. But we were always at Chuck E. Cheese year round. Everyone's birthday, you getting them tickets. Go in that building and smell pizza and feet. But if it wasn't at Chuck E. Cheese, we'd have it at our home when either go to grandma's house or we're stay home in the apartment complex that we lived in. And it was always fun being able to go to people's birthday parties. I don't know. I think thinking back on it now, I always found it just kind of weird to go to other people's houses for their birthday because I did this weird thing where I would like really pay attention to how people would live, like how like organized and clean they were. And then I go home and be like, "Phew, I'm glad I'm home." not everyone was the cleanest. John says it was a place called JC Park for me. Then when you got older, it was the Inlet. Well, let's look up what those two places are. I'm curious to how you was living your birthday life. Okay, it's like a fun place to have a birthday. Yeah, for sure. Dude, dope, man. Next to the docks too. I'm looking at this dope picture with a sunset, or no, yeah, sunset. Dope spots, man. Dope spots. Other than Chuck E. Cheese, and home birthday parties and Discovery Zone that didn't last long. We did Watson Park. Here, there was this water park that we used to have called Fantasy. Anyone else have any fun or memorable birthday party times? Birthday times? I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not even over exaggerating. Like, there was, so it was me, my 4 siblings, plus our 3 cousins that were like 2 doors down away from us on my mom's side. Between all of them and us, yo, it was for real. Just like everyone's getting Chuck E. Cheese. Like there's 1 or 2 people who went and got Discovery Zone because that place was expensive. But guarantee if you had a birthday, you was in Chuck E. Cheese. I remember being able to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Now I would for sure always save the token to go play the Ninja Turtles arcade game. That was me all day. Yo, that's crazy that you say that, because it was like 1 in every 3 or 4 kids who were just like really genuinely freaked out about the design of Chuck E. Cheese. And I get it, but I would always laugh at it because like the way he would just sit there and just be like, and then I think the scariest part about it was just the eyes, the way that they were bulging and also kind of like halved. Yeah, no, Chuck E. Cheese definitely was, and then his bandmates or whatever, they were the funniest one. Like, I think if any of them could have been the scariest one, it was either the girl, the bird, or the grimace looking one. Hold on, look at this thing. And his teeth, look at his teeth. And then look, I remember the dog, and this one always confused me because I'm like, he doesn't fit what is going on. He's the only human playing with these animals. Like, I didn't understand what the hell he was all about, and I never really understood what he was saying either. Imagine working there and being there in the dark and like looking at them, and then imagine one of them moving. Or like if you see them all pointing this way, like they're all looking in this direction, right? And you go in the back room to grab something, and as you're leaving, the office is on this opposite end right here, and they're all looking at you in the other way. That would be wild, right? All right, so another event that I actually really appreciate when it comes to family. I actually haven't been able to experience this myself because I didn't walk the stage, but I think it's pretty cool that we get to experience this as human beings in this time frame. Graduation. Being able to walk the stage, receiving the accolade of passing school, and then having your family in the crowd, along with your friends, family, and everything, just having people be able to like cheer you on as you're graduating from high school, and then even college. Of course, college is like, yo, I finally got everything done, time to get this job. High school is really big, I would say so myself, because oh man, high school is a trip to get through. It's definitely need that diploma at the end of high school. With the classes that I was taking, I went in between 2 different schools to get out of high school, but all 4 years, I graduated 2010, all 4 years, but I got to the point to where I didn't need all the credits that I was scheduled for in the final year. So, and the cool thing about it was all the ones that I needed were before lunch period. So when I would take all my needed classes, lunch would come, I'd go home. And like I started, and the crazy thing is like, no one said anything about it. See, how many people here graduated high school? Everyone graduate? Everyone? And who walked the stage? I didn't. I had to take summer school. And I didn't like that feeling, because I know my family, especially my dad, they had high hopes for me because I was very smart, but I just didn't apply myself because I was bored. Another supportive event that's good to have families at. I mean, not like a given, but weddings. Weddings are always fun. So I hear. From what my experience is, they can be a good time for sure. All right, so we do have Linton on right now. Welcome, Linton. We've got you on. If you can hear me.
Hello, hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Better now that I'm awake. I was kind of crashing the beginning of the
Nice.
stream.
Where are you from?
I'm from the United States. I'm from Kansas.
Oh, Kansas, United States. Oh, I know.
How about you?
Oh, I'm from, Georgia in Europe.
Georgia, Europe. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what time is it there? I'm looking
Oh,
at
it's
7:52.
2. Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Oh, okay.
So it's pretty late, but it's a holiday,
Oh, it's holiday for you. What holiday is
Yeah,
it?
it's holiday. Yes. So what have you done today, sir?
I had got a chance to work out. The weather here has been kind of back and forth, so we've got some warm weather today and for the next week. I was able to go outside and work out. I've got a punching bag that I train with, and then had a job interview and just been chilling.
You got the job?
I don't know yet. They'll it's one of those ones where they interview you and they call you back within a week. So
Oh, yes.
yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be a
What,
part time.
can I ask what job?
Yeah, I'm gonna be stocking at a store, maybe. But it's extra income for the house.
Oh, nice.
What do you do for work?
Oh, what I do, I'm an air traffic controller. You sit up in the tower at airports.
Oh.
You control airplanes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
How do you like it?
So it's very good. It's a good view. So
Yeah, I believe it.
high up in the tower and lots of money.
That's awesome. Now, with you being an air traffic controller, are you running like a major airport or like a small airport?
It's a medium. It's only mostly domestic, but some international. But only a few per week.
Oh, nice. Okay. What made you get into that? Is that something you've always wanted to do, or is it just kind of like happened?
I like aircrafts and I like money. It's a plus, so they both go again to get good together. So I took it.
That's always good. Okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate having you on the stream. We're just kind of going. I'm actually just kind of expressing like the benefits of being able to have a family. Are there any like attributes to like having a family or being in a family that stand out to you? Like what's good about, or the benefits that you find with having a family?
It's good, many benefits, but look, I like being myself. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So I can cook whatever I want, eat whatever I want.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Be up whenever I want.
So you don't happen to have any like kids or anything like that?
No kids. I had a dog, but he died.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Was that recent?
Maybe 2 months ago, but it's fine. How about you? Do you have family?
I do. I have 4 kids and a wife. I also have a big family outside of them. I used to be very family oriented, but I had to branch off myself because I wanted to do something for myself. I was a lot of help to them when I was younger, but I felt like now it was time for me to gain my own success and do my own thing. So I mean, I still see them, I still keep in touch with them and everything, but I'm not as available as I used to be.
But you don't have kids, no?
Yes, 4.
4 kids?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we make it work. I've got 3 boys and 1 daughter.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, you got a lot of kids for being so young.
Yeah, I was busy during COVID.
Yeah, I can hear that.
So, what was your dog's name?
Oh, it's a sweet, how do you say, like European name, but it was like it's hard to explain to like Americans, but it was Svante,
Ponte.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, awesome.
He was a
I'm
very
not.
nice boy, but yeah, he
Oh, he
got
was.
sick and then died.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. I used to have a bearded dragon. I got for Father's Day one year. Had him
Yeah,
for about just a year. And he also got sick. Um, unfortunately, he passed away.
yeah, I'm sorry to hear. That's how life can be sometimes. Tough.
Yeah, it was fun having him though. It was very a new experience to be able to understand, like a different pet other than like a cat and a dog.
Yeah, I understand. Life is tough sometimes.
Yeah, it can be, and it's what you learn and apply that makes it a lot better moving forward.
Yeah, true.
So we were just discussing birthdays when you hopped in here. What do you like to do for your birthday?
Ooh, I like eat good food and maybe hang out with my family, like parents and my brother.
Oh, you got a brother.
Maybe
Okay,
go out for dinner and just enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, have a good week.
that's nice.
Yeah, how
And
about
yeah,
you?
very simplistic. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same. I've gotten to a point where. So my daughter's birthday is just before mine, and then I share birthday months with a few other family members in my family. So it's not ever really just my birthday anymore. So I just kind of take what I can get, hang out with family, go out to eat, hang with some friends for the
yeah,
month.
that's nice.
Yeah. Let's see. So enlighten me on the customs of graduating school in Europe. Is it kind of similar how it is in the US, where you walk the stage and get a diploma?
In Europe, we don't really have that like walk the stage. You graduate like a normal person. You don't like walk out, run out. You mostly like take your graduate like paper and then you walk out and maybe have something with your family like dinner and have a good time. You don't really do like those. You walk out, run out, with graduation hats all over the place.
Oh,
Only like
okay. So you don't have like actual ceremonies. You just last day you
exactly.
get
We
your diploma
only
and you go home.
Exactly, we only get our diploma or paper, like graduation paper, and we go home and we celebrate with family and the holiday.
Well, I can definitely say that saves money because the cap and
Yes, we
gowns
don't we don't like
cost.
spending money here in Georgia. Yeah, but I think I will go to bed now,
Oh, okay.
so
Well, hey.
I can get to work tomorrow. I start 10 a.m.
Oh, you do. Yeah, you got to get your rest. Well, I appreciate you
Yeah, it's
stopping
only
in.
7 hours.
You have a good day at work and have a safe weekend. All right.
Yeah, you too. Have a good weekend.
Thanks so much. You take care.
Bye bye.
I like having other countries join in. That's cool. All right. So yeah, weddings. Family weddings can be crazy from what I've seen, like in the media and everything, and just from what I've heard from friends and such. Uh, especially open bar weddings. Those sound like they can be fun or a hot mess. But nonetheless, having that family support, because like I whenever there's a wedding, I tend to think about, does the bride or groom, like when you're in the ceremony, and like everyone, like a church ceremony or just like a regular ceremony, and you have two sides. You got the bride side and you got the groom side. I don't know, for me, it's I tend to pay attention like who has more. But it's just like I kind of want to know why. Like, let's say the bride had like 15 people on her side, friends and family, and the groom has too many people on his side and has to take up seats in the back of the bride side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just interesting to me to see that some people have like a shorter side, and like when you're up and you're the bride or groom and you look and you're seeing everyone in their seats, and you see that your side is lacking. Like, how does that make you feel when you see the other side? Because like I feel like you just kind of get this like feeling like, oh, they have more. I don't know. I just, to me, if I ever saw that, if I was the one who had like 15 people and my partner had like 50, 80 people, and I'm just like, huh. you know I guess it would depend on how many people you invited, because if you invited 100 and only 15 showed up, how many of those people were out of town? How many of those people, you know, like when you're making a wedding invitation, you're putting this out months in advance. You should be. But how many of those people were out of town? That's understandable. Traveling is expensive. Because not only are you traveling, you're also staying. But also, I don't know. I don't know. It's always good to have people. And then lastly, for family events, holidays. Now I put holidays because I didn't want to be specific in a sense of like on like stuck on American customs. Because I know Christmas, Thanksgiving, like those are big family holidays because everyone gets together. People cook, people get dressed up, people bring gifts. They show up to one specific location, and it's should be a good time. But I really wanted to kind of be open to everyone else's customs outside of the American culture. And when I say American culture, like the standard societal American culture, like I know within America we have a mixing pot of all cultures and races. But like for me, I'm not just African American. I'm Vietnamese and Native American. So there is a Native American cultural side, especially it's to me, I don't actually necessarily understand that there's one indifferent to the other as far as Thanksgiving goes, because I know that's a huge thing, especially between Christopher Columbus Day and Thanksgiving. It's, you know, it's, I guess it's however you celebrate it. I've seen that Native Americans of likeliness don't really care. It's just another day, and people actually celebrate it because it brings family together. So I guess it's whatever it is that you make it. Me personally, I look at holidays as a family gathering, not necessarily of the day that it represents. I think I've grown out of all that. I don't actually really know or remember the real story behind Thanksgiving and how it came about to be in America's culture, but I just go for the family and food. In Vietnamese culture, it's kind of similar, but you know, there's a bunch of food, but people, yeah, and a damn good time. Christmas is a little different because I understand not everyone celebrates Christmas for religious and moral reasons, to which that's okay. I've met people up and down, left and right, who have their reasons as to why they don't celebrate Christmas. Me personally, Christmas is just like a gift giving Thanksgiving. Because it's just the same thing, food gathering, but then like you throw gifts in it and you call it a day. I think the idea behind things or Christmas, I think a lot of us have missed what it means to actually celebrate Christmas, because now a lot of us are about gift giving and gift receiving. I think it's to remember it's all about gift giving, and a lot of us consider it to be gift receiving. And then we put a lot of pressure on getting gifts for people instead of making them like in crafts or with skill or expertise or even in food. I've honestly considered just baking, giving people cookies and stuff, because I can't keep buying y'all gifts. Oh man, and like I'm the type of person, because like if I'm tight with money, you know, like I want to give a gift, I'll go get a gift. Like I'm not gonna ask you what you want, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Like I'm gonna gift it to you based on your personality and how well I know you. But then there's also trinkets and stuff that will be like, hey, this is nice, I'll give this because it's nice, you know. But yeah, no, I've ran into people who make a big deal about receiving gifts, like, oh, you didn't get me a gift. And it's not like it's an 18th time in a row where, you know, it's like you didn't give me one. They're like, oh, you never got me one. It's like, well, why do you care? Why is that the sole purpose of your Christmas? Like I won't judge anyone for that being the reason they love Christmas or anything like that, but it's not me. I'm gonna live by how I want to live by, and my presence my presence is a gift. One really big thing that stood out to me about speaking on families and thankfulness is the memories. You know, as we're kids, we're living in them, and as we get older, we tend to look back on them to enjoy them. Either way, we're enjoying them and we're missing them. Because you know, as a kid, you might hang out with a favorite cousin or a favorite uncle or aunt or even grandparent, and you know, as a child, you're like, I'm gonna go see them. I'm gonna go hang out. They shower me with gifts, and they're a fun time. Mommy's always working and tired, you know, however it was as a kid. But wait, what? I was saying something. I've drawn a complete blank now. Anyway, memories. Yeah. So as a kid, okay, there we go. As a kid, you live in them. As an adult, you look back on them. So when you're adult, like, and it's different now because we're so dependent on storage saved photos and videos on our phones that if anything were to ever happen to them, we'd freak out. Like, you drop your phone in the ocean. Oh no, there go all my photos and videos. I kind of miss the days where it was about being able to take the picture, Polaroid, flop it out, or just like making a scrapbook. Like I would hope that no one forgets the time of being able to do that. Just enjoy being able to like print out. I'll tell you one thing about pictures though. I hated, still do, going to the mall to have pictures taken. Oh my gosh, so annoying. Itchy sweaters. Didn't do it. What they call them? They had a specific name for them. I want to say glamour shots, but that's not it. I don't know, but I didn't like them. But yeah, I think just being able to, and then camcorder recorded videos, nostalgic. My little brother, he's got himself a camcorder, and like he's been showing me the result of his recordings. Take me back. It's so like late 90s, early 2000s. It's awesome. But that's just a few ways to remember something, you know? Just looking back on pictures and pictures and videos and just kind of get nostalgic for a little bit. Another way to look back on memories is some good cooking. Like I was talking about it in the last stream with Trey on Sketch and Catch, and to wake up to grandma's cooking or mom's cooking, which is grandma's recipe or something like that, and you just smell the ingredients, or you come home from work or wherever it is and you just smell the food cooking in the house, and it just like gravitates you, makes you levitate a little bit. It's like, oh man. But like, it's crazy that something like a scent could really take you back on good times with family and bonding. I know for me, because of my Vietnamese ethnicity, it would be the Vietnamese cuisine favorite pho. The way my grandma would cook it, and just like the time and energy and love that she would put into it, you could just smell all of it. You could taste it in the air. And like when we'd go visit and we knew we were having pho, we'd be like, oh yeah, that day. Since we open that door and you walk in and just hit with that broth in the air, it's a good feeling. Especially on cold days. Get that soup in you. Oh yeah, it's a good feeling. I encourage anyone and everyone, if you're the type of person who says you can't cook but you have a little bit of skill, learn the techniques of cooking instead of trying to learn recipes. When you learn the techniques of cooking, you don't need recipes, because then you've got your own imagination on what to cook. And when I say techniques, learning how to cook chicken, whether it be grilled, fried, baked, what have you. Same with meat, beef, pork, all that. Fish, how to cook vegetables the right way, how to steam them, how to bake them, how to stovetop cook them, how to pan fry them, pan sear them, all those. And it may sound like a laundry list as far as techniques learned, but really, same with everything in the world and in life. It all connects. So once you learn one thing, you can be like, oh, kind of just like this. And that's your memory right there. If you have a bad memory, just kind of correlate things with other things. And you like, I don't know how your process goes with remembering things, but for me, if I can correlate certain aspects, I know I've got it. But I'm a pretty decent cook, so I don't need that. But I mean, like, there's always more room to learn, always room for improvement, and I can definitely do better. I'm no chef, but I can do something. Another way to savor the memories is to bond with one another. Like, as we get older, we tend to really focus on our jobs and our lives, and a lot of times family kind of gets put on the back burner. It happens because we're all busy. We're all trying to, reach that definition of what we call success. We're trying to succeed. So we tend to, have less time for everything that's not on the front end, and a lot of times it's not family. Now, I would say, from what I've learned, heavier base families don't do this, especially when you have families who have businesses that are within the family, that like that passed down within the family. They tend to not really do that. But then there's like a lot of people around the world who, like, I think one thing that really got to me is that, like, back before our time of progressive technology and everything, if there was anyone who had any inkling of succeeding, they had to leave their home country, they had to leave their hometown and go to a different state. Like, they had to leave, and they left their family, and they would come back if either they weren't able to succeed, or they succeeded so well they could return to visit and bring back gifts and fortune. Whatever brought the return on, there was always some kind of return. But it's not uncommon for people to leave family to go succeed and do something different outside of the norm of the family tree. I don't know. I think a few good ways for any family that you have, that you're trying to retain the memories of old, a good way to bond with family is just like having cooking, like with the food, cook dishes that are known in the family together, cook it for one another. Like, hey, brought you grandmama's pasta or something like that. I didn't want to try to sound Italian, but it tried to come out. But like, cook together, talk together, share photos, share videos, share stories that you may or may not remember amongst each other. I think whenever I get together with some cousins or family members, we tend to do that often. Like one of those, remember that one time? Those kind of conversations. Those are always fun. Don't have them with people that you would always get drunk with. Don't do that. I hate hearing old party stories now. Oh man, I do and I don't. Like, I do because I'm like, that's not me. Like, but then I don't because I'm like, that's not me anymore, man. I don't want to hear that. I mean, but it happened. A lot of embarrassing stuff. One thing in particular that really brings out memories, and not always in the most positive way, but it does, is loss, losing family members. Losing family members and having to be around family. Funerals, anniversaries of lost family members, birthdays, anything like that, which also can cause you to bond and also cook. But all too common because of busy lives, because of separation, when it comes to someone who was very prominent in the family to pass away, it brings everyone back together, mostly because I get it. People, they deal with it differently. Not everyone deals with pain and loss the same way, right? So some people might not show up. They don't want to be around other family members. They want to go see the gravesite alone, or however it is. But I think when it comes to loss, and then there's the funeral service, and then there's the reception, and family is in town for a few nights, and it brings people together. Outside of the grieving process, I think we tend to take some time to be like, oh hey, how you been? Glad to see you. Glad everything's all right. Oh, kind of talk about the one who passed away. You share stories, you share memories. Someone cooked, someone's trying to recreate the recipe that was known or best or just in the family, and it's a good time, you know. It's a nice refresher away from the real world to go back to how family was and how you remember it being as a kid. To me, I think because everything is so separated now, I have my, I won't say best, but I remember more with family as a kid than I do now. That makes sense. I'm not sure why. I think I hold on to those moments as a kid than more so than I do as an adult for some reason. I tend to cherish them more. But I think because I have those as memories. I feel like me personally, I don't remember a whole lot as a kid, but I remember, and that's probably why I I consciously wrote down all this stuff because that's what allows me to remember the idea of family. I think I've been like teaching myself to living in the moment when it comes to being with family or being out at events, because I think a lot of us have gotten to the point to where we're just so ready to take pictures and record videos to save those memories. Like, I just live in them. And the thing with me is that whenever I'm living in the moment, I don't know. I have this weird thing with not being able to remember all the details. Like, I still to this day have it bad where I'll go watch a movie with somebody. Well, now I can't say that because the person I go watch movies with now is just my wife. But if I go watch a movie with someone else that's not her, I won't remember that I watched it with that person. I remember seeing it, but 8 times out of 10, I won't remember that I watched it with like a cousin or a friend from work or something like that. Later on down the line, I'll be like, man, I remember go see Spider-Man 48, but I don't remember who I went with. So the movie was good though. But I tend to live in the moment, and I don't know. I feel like I've gotten, I don't know, like I feel like over the years I feel like I've lived 2 or 3 lives. I feel so tired these days. I feel so exhausted. I feel like I'm a old soul in a young-ish body. Definitely living for the moment, not, you know, not for the good shot. Another one that I put down, I kind of wasn't thinking about it, but it just kind of made sense to me. When you apply a learned skill that you can remember a family member teaching you, like for instance swimming, you go out to swim, like, I don't know, I think for me, whenever I do something that someone taught me, I always think about them in that moment. Like, if I didn't learn it on my own or through a YouTube video, like if I actually got to bond with someone to the, like, in a sense that like they taught me, like let's say changing a tire, for every time I change a tire, I think about the person who taught me, and I think it's deeper than that. I believe I also think about the entire scenario of being taught that lesson. Mainly because I want to make sure that I'm doing it the way I learned, which is, I feel, correct. But also, if I know it's correct and I'm just like really good at whatever it is I learned, I still think about the person and the time that I learned it. Let's say you're fixing your tie, for anyone who wears a tie. Do you ever think back on the person that taught you? If you learned by someone physically, like in front of you, did someone teach you? Do you ever just think about that person when you're tying your tie, or do you think about the moment you tied your tie, or is it just me? Growing up and making your own family, I'll say that. So I can definitely vouch for this one, because when you're living your life, growing older, watching people have kids, watching those kids get older, and then you end up having your own, it's so, I can't put my finger on the actual definite, like how to describe it, but it's just, it's so, there's such a revelation to have when it comes to that, like being able to have your own kids, and then you look back on how you were treated as a kid or how you saw other kids being treated around you, in a positive way and in a disciplining way. But and then you get to see how your kids or your like nieces and nephews act as family members around your age might have. Like for instance, well, no. So me and two of my sisters, we all have kids. And out of all of our kids, me personally, I see that each one of our kids resembles one of our own. Or each one of our own kids resembles that of one of their kids. I'm confusing myself. So for instance, I have one of my boys. They will like in a way remind me or resemble my sister's son and daughter. So one of my sisters has a daughter, one of my sisters has a son, and then my son, they will all have like a similarity and they're all about the same age. So if like one's 2, one just turned 3, and the other one's just turning 2, about the same age, they all like kind of do the same thing, like facial expressions, behaviors, attitudes, tantrums, even kind of facial features. They all kind of, it's just weird that they all do that, but they're not like growing up with each other. I don't know, it's just kind of weird to see it happen like that. And I do that often. I'll just sit there and be like, oh, you're like your cousin. Stop that. So on top of that weird addition that I added, it's just I don't know, man. Like I just, especially with the times that have changed, how it is to be an adult watching younger kids grow. Because to be in the middle, like in your 30s, to be in the middle, watching 4-year-olds turn to 8-year-olds turn to teenagers, watching the 30-year-olds that you knew turn 40, watching them turn 50, watching them turn 60, and then you're in the middle between the ages of 20 and 35. It's so weird to be in the middle of that. And I wonder if that's how it is being the middle child. And I wonder if that's why like there's always a thing with middle children, because to see that firsthand, because I guess the passing generations above the one older than you, and then to see everything that you've experienced change and not be so received or experienced by the younger sibling or something like that. Um or even your kid, like good example, technology use, right? So when we were younger, you had a house phone, and it went from having a house phone to like a landline with a cord, and it went from having a cordless phone. It went from having a cordless phone to having multiple cordless phones. It went to having a cordless phone to having a cell phone with minutes, but you had nights and weekends free. Then it went to having a cell phone in the house unlimited. Then it went to you being able to have your own cell phone, your siblings being able to have their own cell phone. Now it's tablets, laptops, computers, all that. So to like see technology advance so fast, such a small amount of time, and then to see how well received it is by the youngest generation, like 4-year-olds being able to use tablets as well as adults who are 30 years old. Crazy. I think another thing that stands out to me when it comes to making your own family is also knowing that you have to take on that responsibility. I've been the responsible party for most of my life, so I kind of understand, but it still kind of gets to me that, you know, these young kids, they've gotten to a point in their life where they understand to depend on me and to come to me for what they need in life. Because again, I've that's not a new experience for me. I've had people, friends and family, who always they wanted to depend and rely on me. But when you got a young kid who has to find a way to communicate to you that they're hungry or that they're thirsty, like my youngest, because he can't say cup or thirsty or water yet, which I've been trying to teach him. But when he's thirsty, he'll come shove a cup at me, like, eh? And sometimes if I'm like at level with him, he'll shove that in my face, like, eh? I'm like, yo, hold up. Just say water. Eh? It's definitely a wild experience, becoming a parent. Being able to live with family, lose family, and then create your own. Like, everything that you see and learn from the world, you immediately want to apply to the next of kin, because you want to make sure they're safe, and you want them to know so much so fast, but you forget that they're just kids that can only handle so much at a time, and you get frustrated because you can't just shove all that knowledge in them, so you don't have to be there for them every step of the way. And we find it to be, because like the life that we live now, we find it to be a hindrance to have to be the protector, the provider, the lover, the carer, the nurturer, and then have to worry about ourselves. So we try to rush things. And it's very important to just kind of take a step back and go, yo man, don't rush this. Enjoy it. Like, live in the moment, understand it, make peace with it. Because if you get so caught up in the life that you're living to aim for success, forgetting that you have a family, all that will pass you by so quick. And then you'll be looking back, wondering where all the time went, with no memories to fall on. And that's the one thing that hits people the most. Can't remember what you didn't experience, what you didn't allow yourself to experience. And it's understandable, because life can be tough. Having to provide and enjoy things, trying to find that happy medium, that boundary, trying to stay afloat, bills, food, there's more mouths to feed. And you feel pressure to do things, but you can't. Or you just tell yourself not you can't, but really it is you just don't want to because you're tired. Whatever it is, I get it. But you've got to be able to find something to keep yourself present mentally, emotionally. Because you're going to want those memories when those people are gone. And that's the way you that's how you take in family. That's how you accept family. That's how you define family. Being able to enjoy and pass on the memories of being in them, being there, communicating. I encourage everyone this month to just, like, I don't know, take a moment to really consider. I didn't even get to the thankfulness part, but that's all right. We'll two-part it. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife, but this was fun. You know, I decided falling asleep. Oh, I do that too much. No, I enjoyed having new people on. I will say this, I was that person I hated to be the one to ask for help or to reach out when I needed something. I don't know, it was just always a thing for me. But it never hurts to ask for help if you ever need it. I know it's easier said than done for some people. But, I mean, I think a lot of us, we tend to just don't want to be rejected, because asking for help, especially financially, is already kind of embarrassing enough that we feel. We'll put it that way. Because if you ask 5 people in a room, like, hey, are you comfortable with ask for money? I bet the money I don't have, 4 out of 5 will say no, I'm not, and I won't. So like we already see it as a, you know, it's an issue to ask for it. But like for instance, if you had to, what, you know, the worst that could happen is you're being told no. Well, that's not always the worst case scenario. Because sometimes you're asking a family member who like will belittle you because you're asking for help, and it's not always a handout, but it's like it's a rescue, it's an aid. So yeah, I used to be one of those people, but I think I've gotten to the point to where I can open up and be like, hey, I need some help. If I needed it, I could be like, yeah, I need some help. Is there any way that you can help? Anything or anything I'll do. But no, I've also I've allowed myself to kind of like mature to the point to where I can approach or reach out to elder family members and just check in or just like have a conversation. I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know why I've always felt this kind of like weird feeling that I could never like go and talk to any family members, but I don't know. I see things differently now that I'm older. Because I would hate to make any of my nieces and nephews feel that way about me, that they can't talk to me about anything, you know? Like a lot of times with family, like I just felt like I couldn't open up and talk to them. I just kept it to myself because I didn't want to be judged. One, and two, it's like, are you actually gonna help, or are you just gonna tell me like a short answer and be like, hey, I hope you figured out, you know? Yeah. Speaking of family, I've got oh yeah, no, I gotta go spend time with my own family. I've been telling myself to make time. Word. I am outsies. Everyone, thank you for stopping in. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for following. Thanks for the love and support as always. See y'all later. Be safe. Have a good one. Peace.